on TV talking about Bob Cousy being over a lot of these niggas. You've got to stop. You've got to stop.
This is a situational thing in terms of where you have these basketball conversations. Omar, the way you're having it, I can tell you've heard a lot of older people talk about basketball because that seems like barbershop conversation. He nice, but he know Bill Walton. That's barbershop talk. That's barbershop lingo. That's barbershop conversations. That's how I get down when you're talking to older people. I can assure you, Bezos' basketball conversations came from the lunchroom. And if we were at the lunch table talking basketball, he had the audacity. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. Al Jefferson, cool. He ain't no Artis Gilmore. Pot to the face. Who is this? Get this from the table. He ain't who? Tree Rollins. What? What are you talking about? So it depends on who you've had these conversations with. I can assure you, Bezos probably have not heard people talking like that.
Also, Mad Dog. I mean, I know about Mad Dog, but there has not been a second where I've taken Mad Dog seriously. So, and a lot of people that I know don't take him seriously.
And again, so both things, what you just said, can be flipped on you. I understand because I feel like we have better basketball conversations than the other people. But there's a large majority of people that consume the Mad Dog conversations. There's a lot of people, that consume this. There's a lot of people that believe this and go out and they spew this. And it's not, again, Mad Dog isn't the only reporter to do such things. Go back and read some of Jackie McMullen's shit. Go back and read some of Jack Ryan's shit. I'm talking about when these niggas was writing for the papers. Mind you, this is an era where they can't consume a Bezos. That paper is the only bit of basketball knowledge that they gonna get, besides either listening to it on the radio for their local team or potentially catching it on TV, depending on the year.
When you said basketball is the only sport where players aren't allowed to evolve, I took that as the conversation right now. And the conversation right now is completely different than what it was 20 years ago. And also, you went from this can't happen to a lot of people think this way. A lot of people also think the other way.
I think Bezos, for a majority of people, and I think in basketball it's more divided than it is in other sports. If that makes it better, I think for basketball it is much more divided than it is in like football. In football, we'll bring up Johnny Unitas or we'll bring up a Terry Bradshaw or whatever. We can bring them up. Ain't no problem with paying homage. Oh yeah, Will was great in his day. Yeah, Terry was great in his day. Man, them niggas ain't slinging it like no Josh Allen. It ain't even it's really not even no conversation. It's really not even a conversation about comparing errors. It's really not.
I just think it's a disservice to how progressive NBA conversations have gone. When, I don't know, just your sentiment is like, it hasn't really changed. Like, there's still a lot to be done within the NBA conversation. When it has progressed a lot. Not to say that there's no room for improvement, but it has progressed a lot. Like, we've gotten to the point where the MVP isn't just best player on the best team. Like, in the 2000s, that was the case. That is not the case anymore.
I don't know if I use the word.
Was that the case in the 2000s?
1990s, 2000s, whatever you want.
But was that the case in the 2000s that it was just best player on best team that got the MVP?
That was a majority, at least from my understanding. It was a lot of who was the guy putting up really good stats on extreme winning. Now we're having these nuanced conversation. Like, just compare the conversation now compared to, I don't know, in 2007 when Dirk was getting MVPs, when Nash was getting MVPs or whatever. I feel like back then it was a lot of who is the best player on the best team.
I don't know. I would love to use the word progressive, B-Souls. I use ironic and hypocrisy when it comes to basketball conversations nowadays. Because a year ago, people were talking about would MJ average fucking 40 in this era. And now we're sitting here because some dude on TikTok pointed out the left hand. And it's not like the games dropped a year ago. Now we're sitting here, would he even be Jaylen Brown? So it's I don't know if I'm calling that progression, man. I'll be very honest with you.
Who was saying that he could drop 40? It sounded like the same guys.
It's like a lot of people, like a ton. I mean, I'll pull up YouTube videos, I guess, but
I remember it being the old niggas saying that he would drop 40.
Yeah, a lot of old niggas, a couple of young niggas, pretty much anybody that believed that Michael Jordan was great, again, prior to this month, was of the mindset that oh yeah, MJ in this era is averaging like 35. Kobe in this era is averaging like 38. Like that's not a foreign conversation. I don't even think I'm pretty sure we've had that conversation.
What I'm saying is those are the narrative pushers, Sage. Those are the old narrative pushers. Michael Wilbon would have a conversation with damn, what's buddy name? What's white boy name? That's across from Michael Wilbon.
Damn, I ain't shit. I don't know his name.
Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Chad got it.
But those are the people that would be saying, "Oh my God, Elgin Baylor would drop 90 in this era with all this spacing." Not if he can't go left. He can barely go right. Tony Kornheiser. That nigga
sound
can't
like the
go
circle
right.
of life. Then this what I think the NBA is versus like the NFL. And someone pointed out quarterbacks, but even in quarterbacks, we just chalk what they do. The all heads do is chalk it up to it being a passing man's game now, more so than old guy would solo new guy. But what basketball does now, I think maybe it's just a situation like how music is pretty synonymous, and even the cultures in rap music and basketball are pretty similar. So maybe that's what it is, a situation where my era is always the best. The old era is going to be the one talking about it because they can't play no more. The new era is going to sit there and be like, this nigga can't even go left. And then once the new era is sitting in there, people are going to be defending the 2020s. And then niggas in the 2040s are going to be on some shit like, y'all don't even average 200 a game. What are we doing? So I don't know. It's something, maybe I'm not the guy to point it out. Maybe I need to spend more time. We are live, of course. But it's something that's way the fuck, and we can all agree here, way the fuck off about NBA discourse because hey, at the dumbest decimal, conversations about 90s basketball change in the 2010s, and then they inverse back to what they were in the 90s and the 2020s. And then by the 2030s, I guarantee you, we're going to go back to how Michael Jordan would average 50. So it's just so ironic and weird. I don't know what it is.
I still think Jordan could average 30 in today's league, but maybe not 40.
I don't know what the motherfucker would average because he was in the 90s, and the 90s sucks. Oh, I ain't your friend, old heads. I hate all that old shit. If I weren't born to see it, I don't care about it. But what I don't do is, point out lowlights and shit. Like people gonna do this to Bron. So people gonna do this to Bron.
They were doing that with Bron in 2018 with the whole defense shit.
Yeah,
I don't know any sport or anything pop culture related where the new era pays homage, respects the old era, and the old era respectfully releases the reins of what used to be and praises the new game or new era for being better, more whatever it is, or just giving them their flowers. No matter what it is, it's everything has nostalgia with it. Whether it's media, whether it's music, whether it's TV, movie. When I say media, TVs and movies, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whatever it is, that is always going to be the conversation.
No, that's not the case in movies, but it's a lot of actors that give praise to, especially because I think they give more praise because they're doing shit differently. They're giving a lot of praise to the young people.
Well, I was talking more so fans versus the actual professionals.
Oh, I was about to heavy disagree.
Yeah, I was talking about the fans.
I was about to say, look, I hate to be a football merchant, but you had to show me maybe an outline clip. Most of the football niggas literally go for quarterbacks, passing man's game, and then they'll get whatever the shit off. Everything else, they'll always be like, yo, don't hate on this young brother. No. Football is like the sport that is actually kind to the past and future generations.
I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about fans, okay. The casual fans, diehard fans, the people having these conversations like we were thinking of. I know Omar was speaking more so of the entities that was in charge of spreading the message, and then people would just run with that. So if you had a biased person, if you had Skip Bayless in the 80s or 90s, and he was in charge of that region's paper or that region's ability to whichever like intake their sports intake. If it came from Skip Bayless, it was going to have a skewed view of how you fucking view LeBron James and a skewed view of how you viewed Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. He can do no wrong. He's the greatest. Everyone's going to echo that because, like Omar said, niggas are not going to the games for real. Everybody's not going to the game. Like, everybody's not going to the game. Niggas are not watching every game. Hell, nowadays, people have the access to watch damn near anybody play and choose not to. Back in the day, niggas just couldn't. Like, you couldn't watch everybody. You really could. You barely could watch your team play to keep it hot. It was hard to find your team playing any given night, depending on where you were at.
And that's what I've been trying to tell people, because especially if you talk about the TV contracts and stuff like that, dog, y'all was not watching these games. Y'all was not watching these games. We might be getting to a point where maybe it's too much on TV, so people aren't watching it now. But like it's a better thing. But people are definitely watching more games now because it's easier to watch games now than it was to watch games back in the day. It just that is literally factually true. And it's amazing. It's amazing that people can't see this when it comes across the board. You know, I'm gonna try to slide like some women's basketball into this, but when you put it on TV, people will watch and people will become more knowledgeable. People will start to appreciate more. These things are no longer Aesop's fables. People can understand the game more, and people can have better conversations about these things, as opposed to, oh shit, MJ's got to be MJ was going left, right, up, down, side. He was just taking on a whole team. And when you watch it, that don't be the case. That don't be the case. Let me play this little bit of Wilt real quick. Our guy.
Our player who's bitter about having missed the window of opportunity. There's all that.
It's Chumperlane?
I'm not bitter. I'm really sad. You know what I'm saying? That I missed a chance to make all that money that they're now making. But no, I'm not bitter, because I think that I played in the golden age. I think that I played when athletes really, truly loved what they were doing. I think basketball was at its peak as far as the game being played correctly, technically, and for love, as I see it. And I'm very happy to have been a part of that. And I am not bitter. I'm a sports fan. I watch everything you can possibly watch. There are many great athletes out there and many people who are playing who feel the same way as I do. But there are too many out there who only are interested in making that buck.
But I don't see that basketball is necessarily crumbling when you talk about some of the problems. But before we take the break, in your book, Who's Running the Asylum, you talk about a number of issues. Are there any solutions that you can rattle off?
Oh, yeah, but when I say crumbling, you mean to think it's just parity? There's 8 or 9 teams out there last year who played 300 ball and less. I've never seen that when I was playing. If that's not crumbling, I don't know what is crumbling. You understand? So yeah, there is a way to have a solution. When you have new teams coming to the league, give them a chance to have better people on their team. They have a grab bag situation, which they throw in the 3 or 4 worst guys from each team into a grab bag, and one guy is picked to be on each of the teams, the new teams. Well, how about only being able to hold 5 guys back on each team and give something good in that grab bag, so the new teams can start off with some good players. And that's one way to solve some of the problems of non-parity which you have today.
All right, we'll continue talking with the
9 teams, that 300. What year is this? 97? Mm-hmm. He must be talking about expansion.
No. When he's saying 300 ball, I think he's talking about win percentage. So
yeah, that's what I think he means.
Oh, okay.
Under 300, 19.
Which is crazy. 19 on that's insane. That's insane.
That's a lot. Now, mind you, it's 96. I think that's when Mike and them went 72 and 10, though. And I've said that too, though. Man, we done with the 90s,
man. Garbage.
We done.
I was never with old basketball that I didn't see. I just think that y'all fans are hypocrites as fuck.
And can I point out, which is super odd, how every era thinks that their era cared more. Like you let niggas tell it today. The niggas in the 90s cared about basketball. They were hoopers. What was going out? We ain't had no social media. We wasn't streaming and playing video games. We was in the gym. Yeah, ask Will Chamberlain, the niggas in the 60s cared more, and they was dealing with fucking Jim Crow. That's crazy. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, they had other things to care about.
You let Wilt tell it. Oh my God, these niggas today making too much money. Hey man, they don't love it like we did back in my day at Chuck Taylor's. So are niggas lying? Like, or is this a natural occurring thing of everyone's era because of nostalgia? You're gonna feel like is the best era. Like in 2045, 2050, I promise you. I don't know what the game is gonna be, but people are gonna look back and be like, I ain't gonna lie, man. Niggas like Al Jefferson made all NBA. Al Jefferson, what were the 2010s? Like that's gonna be the conversation. And
they're starting it with 2016 already. I don't know if you know.
That's how evolution should work, though. In my opinion, personally, bro.
Man, let's start eliminating people. Can't be the 60s. It was the first iteration of basketball. Can't be 70s. Everybody says it's fucking weak. They're out of there. Yeah. I'd say get this year the fuck up on out of here. Everyone from every era complains about the defense. Get this era gone too. So we got 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Sound about right. All right. I ain't see the 80s, so for me, you're done. Let's see. 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Where was I born, right? 2010s had super teams, pissed me off. Get out of here. You're done. All right. Wow. Where was I born? Huh? Ironic. Let's see. Gun to my head, man.
You be saying 2000s are dog
Damn,
shit.
but the 2000 niggas couldn't shoot the ball.
2010s had no great big men.
All people are going to do is you're going to pick whatever era you grew up on. It is rare to find a person who grew up. It is so rare to find a person who grew up watching. Let's say somebody grew up watching 70s and 80s ball, and they are die hard about today's game. It is hard to find that old head. That old head is hard to find. They'll just I couldn't stand that shit back then when I was 17. That shit was awful. Now, this is what I wanted the game to be. That nigga's an anomaly. Just like now, it is going to be hard set for you to find somebody between the ages of 26 to 17 that'll be like, nah, I grew up with the 2000s and 2010s ball. Something about that grain on the 80s film. I just love it. Like, no.
The short shorts. The short shorts.
It's not.
I just love it, man. The complexities and the simplicity. Like, no one is doing that. They're going to revert to what they grew up on 9 times out of 10, or what they perceive as good ball going forward to a reasonable extent. At a certain point, niggas, when they get 40 and 50, I don't know if it's just instincts. I don't know what it is. Eventually, you just feel like it's dick suck to just praise these niggas 30 years younger than you. I don't know. I just feel like at a certain point, the niggas just stop. Like, it's just like, all right. I'm 59. How much can I tell you about LeBron James Jr. being this great? Like that shit just gonna end up stopping.
I just hope I'm a progressive old nigga in the sense of like, hey man, the young bucks doing it different. I hope I'm a progressive, because even right now, if it weren't for like the defensive issues, which anybody says it's not okay, but yeah, if it weren't for that, I'd argue even it now. But it's whatever. But I think that's the thing. A lot of people in everything, not even just sports, can't accept when the best product is the product they have currently. And then simultaneously, it's a pendulum. There's people that can't accept, yo, you are living in some bull. You're like, you are living in some absolute bull. I promise you go back 5 years, even you'd see a difference. So it's just human nature at the end of the day. I'm gonna keep calling y'all hypocrites more than anything else, because this shit's nasty.
Okay, I get it. We're joking, but I would like to ask. I like everything.
Joking.
No. I'm talking like it's funny. The we done with the 80 shit is some funny shit. I'm memeing with the chat and everything.
Okay.
But can we agree that low light clipping is not the best way to represent a whole decade of basketball and say why it's ass?
Oh no.
Sure. If you watch the game, no, you can feel the same way. That shit does not change my mind about anything.
Yeah. Obviously, the low light shit that's going to be a culture. It was originally. I'm not going to act like it's the first time it's ever been done. Obviously,
it's not the
LeBron,
first. Barry McCockner was the
James.
first one I remember.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Obviously, LeBron, Ramon James, me and Souls have reacted to Barry videos, but if it's TikTok, so if we're gonna have a bunch of people that can do that for funsies and it's a trend now, I'm just gonna call out now. Yo, everyone wasn't bad. We're going to get to a point where everyone sucks at basketball and all eras were trash. So I'm just going to say now, y'all doing a lot of bitching.
I'll monitor souls. The fun conversations were like 20 minutes ago. It's been serious like the last 15. What the hell?
I don't even fuck. Is that my fault? Oh, well.
No. It's not you.
Okay.
I just want to say this to the media propaganders out there specifically. I don't know if y'all saw the chairman of Kellogg, the CEO of Kellogg, the cereal brand, came out.
And my man's passed.
Huh?
Was it him? Someone passed. Somebody.
Oh,
Pop-Tarts.
I'm going to say it was Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, I ain't ready for that. No.
We got to put one Pop-Tart in a toaster for them.
Right.
But anyway, so the CEO of Kellogg came out, and he was like, they, for whatever reason, he's talking about struggling economy and stuff like that. And Kellogg brand is doing pretty bad, apparently, from a stock perspective. But nonetheless, he says we got to reach the consumer where they are. So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost of cereal for a family versus what they might do otherwise, that's gonna be a much more affordable proposition for them, right? When you what do you say? A box of cereal or a bowl of cereal is like $1 and some change. A bowl of cereal and some fruit is $1 and some change, right? Versus if you made a whole meal. I say that to say apparently they're struggling to sell stuff right now because people are finding out about cereal. People are finding out the truth. It's hella sugars, it's hella unhealthy and all this. But I don't know if y'all know. Well, y'all know because we went to the same schools, the same American public school system. They used to tell people cereal was healthy. It's a part of your balanced diet. It's got the corn and the fiber that you need, right? But now, all they doing is just pulling back the curtain and they seeing what's behind it. That's all people doing with this bullshit. They pulling back the curtain on the stories about MJ, the stories about, Karl Malone, the stories about David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. They pulling back the curtain on all these bitch ass niggas. Especially Larry Bird. I ain't gonna lie, Larry Bird and Dominique Wilkins caught it the worst. Oh, Dr. J caught it the worst. Dr. J looks so garbage.
I think the king is still John Stockton, but I've been saying Larry Bird ain't better than Luka.
Not even close.
Been saying that. Hey man, it is what it is. I ain't had Bill in the top 10 in a minute. I ain't had Wilt Barry. I don't think I got Wilt there right now. Yeah, he probably not there. Hey, look, old heads that are like, oh yeah, Sage on our side. Let me get it. This I ain't seen you sport. I ain't on your side. I'm just against the new niggas. That's all it is. But the old niggas,
y'all seen Duncan Robinson off the dribble the other day?
Duncan Robinson looked like a witch in the 60s.
Come on, now.
I'm gonna tell you this. I done seen Duncan and Thanasis hit that same move. That move just might be easy as shit. We just don't know. I'm not gonna.
Which one?
I'm gonna show you.
That little behind the back shit.
Now, mind you, he did it on a defender now.
Advancing the basketball while here's
on a sir? DPOY or sir?
Really fools Thompson, who's
that nigga just wasn't him. He just was not prepared for that shit.
Amazing.
Like, that's the back.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's one of them buckets. It's like Duncan. Oh shit.
So since
look at his face afterwards, he's like,
it's one of those. It's one of those.
Man, JJ Redick can't do shit with Duncan Robinson. Kyle Korver not fucking with Duncan Robinson.
Whoa, Kyle Korver.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Nah, Kyle Korver wasn't putting that bitch on the ground.
No, Kyle Korver ain't fucking with him on the handles, but I think Kyle Korver got one of the most underrated skills in history. Being able to shoot and giving any torque of your body, that nigga Kyle Korver should go sideways.
We done with the 2000s, man. Listen, we done with the 2000s. Let's be honest.
Oh, man.
All right, we talk about him putting that rock on the floor.
If my shooters is shooting 40s, and they can put that bitch on the ground, and they taking tougher shots. Stop it, man. We got to stop it.
I got to pull out the Orlando.
I'm done with basketball at this point. All these motherfuckers suck, man.
Apparently,
that's evolution. That's evolution. That's the way it should be.